Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
That is more creepy than me.
Hey Grant, I'm
Hey.
Matt Murphy from Yonkers, New York, and I have
Hi.
2 questions. One, is there going to be a Joe the Barbarian sequel?
Nah, there probably won't be a sequel. I thought of a sequel because they're going to do one where his entire school gets taken over by these things. And it was like, what would happen if every kid in the school was trapped in the same landscape that he was? But then I just didn't bother.
The second question is, what is your opinion on the whole Cyclops becoming Dark Phoenix thing in AVX?
I don't know, I didn't see it because I kind of live in the country and the only comics I get are the DC ones that come in the box. So I haven't actually seen it, but I read about it online and it's just, that ain't my Scott Summers. That's not my guy. But you know, I'm not going to say, I mean those guys are working with those characters, they're trying to make something new, they're trying to push the story along, so I'm fine with it, but I didn't recognise him in that. I don't think he would have ever done any of those things, but maybe he's been possessed. He's always getting possessed, that guy. I think he likes it.
Thanks, Grant.
You're welcome.
Hey Grant, I'm
Hey,
Patrick from New Jersey.
I know.
I really enjoyed your introduction to the Fourth World Omnibus. I was wondering if you could talk about why you didn't really appreciate Kirby's work when you first became aware of it when you were younger, and how appreciating it changed your career or your influence on you.
Yeah, I think when you're a kid, you kind of, I mean, obviously everybody here's into comics, but do you remember when you were young and you would look at the artwork with millions of lines on it and you thought that was so much better? You know, and if it had 1,000 lines to draw some guy's face, then that was better than Alex Toth, who would do it in 3 lines. So I was just a dumb kid, to be honest. You know? I mean, I was a huge fan of Neil Adams, and that to me was the ultimate comic book art. So when you look at Jack Kirby by comparison, and you're 12 years old, Kirby looks quite crude. But the older you get, you start to realise that Kirby's, it's like music. You know, Kirby's pure heavy metal. When Kirby plays the guitar, it's and it's fucking amazing, you know, and the sheer scale, the ideas, the older I got, the more I appreciated the fact that every single panel, every single sentence had a new idea, and Kirby would just waste them, and I really appreciated that, because I thought that's what comics were about. Waste your ideas, don't fucking see people that say, oh, you should have developed that. You know, developing an idea for 6 issues, who cares, man? Just fucking throw it in a sentence and pass by and make up another one. So I really appreciate, to me that was pure comics. And the other stuff is like writing for movies where you have one idea and you just develop it. But Kirby just he'd give you another idea, oh, I've got another idea, fuck, there we go, another idea, wow, oh yeah, it's another comic. And that to me is pure comics. I think that's the way comics should read, you know, and every single sentence should inspire another 10,000 stories, and everyone who reads that should want to write it. So that's what I got from him. The older I got, the better Kirby gets, and the older you get, the better he gets all the time, until you really, really start to appreciate that guy. So I was just dumb. I just was stupid, that was all.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi Graham, I'm from New Jersey as well. First of all, I want to say thanks for New X-Men.
You're welcome.
It's my favorite film of all the X-Men.
Seems like a long time ago now, but thank you.
So my question is, I noticed on your bio that you're not just listed as a comic writer, but a screenwriter as well. So I happen to wonder, is there anything we might expect from you in the future that would be put on the screen?
Ask Hollywood. Right, I've written like 3 movies, I've been paid for them, we paid quite well for them, but they've never been produced. I also just finished up the Dinosaurs vs Aliens screenplay with Barry Sonnenfeld, so you know, we'll see what happens, but these guys have been very resistant to me. I don't know why, you know, I'd love to see a Sea-Guy movie or a Filth movie or any of those things, but honestly, they'll catch up, you know, things are getting a little bit more psychedelic again, so hopefully they'll catch up, but certainly, as I said, I've been doing it, but there are no fruits of it yet, so who knows, maybe never, maybe there will be, fuck, I don't know.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, thank you. I am.
Hey, Quinn Hopkins from Portland, Oregon.
How you doing?
When you talk about Dr. Hurt from Batman, I love the idea that you play on like the whole when Batman's, you know, kind of emotional
Yeah.
self being embodied by Hurt. And then at Morrison Con, you were talking about integral theory,
Mhm.
and it kind of dawned on me that a whole is also a whole with, you know, the WH on LE. And you played on that idea of the W as like the W
Mhm.
with Hurt also.
Yeah.
And so with Batman Inc., I was just kind of wondering, is that this Batman Incorporated, like the idea of this Batman whole, kind of like an antithesis to Hurt and like this?
I hadn't actually thought of it like that, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that if that's in there, then it must have been a kind of subconscious thing. But certainly, I mean, Hurt does appear again. You know, and I said this when we were in Las Vegas, and a lot of people thought, oh my God, there's going to be a big Dr. Hurt story. It's not really a big story, but he's going to come back into it. And as you say, yeah, the whole idea of Batman Incorporated representing all these different versions of Batman, and they're all getting together. This entire story is about that being utterly destroyed and why that might not work ultimately. So yeah, Dr. Hurt does make an appearance at the end, but it's in a slightly different way from what I think people might be expecting. But thank you. Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is James. I'm from New Jersey.
Hey James.
I was wondering, how is your sense in 2 months we're either going to be not here or completely disappointed? How has your opinion of the December 21st, 22nd apocalypse changed since writing The Invisibles?
I don't know, I mean, honestly, I never had an opinion of it. It always sounded something quite interesting, but the trouble is the end of the world has never arrived. They were talking about the end of the world in the year 1000, and they all went up in hills. You know, Neil Gaiman even wrote a graphic novel about this with Dave McKean. But the end of the world just doesn't come, so I was never convinced by it. I mean, it's a beautiful theory, and yes, information does seem to double, but it's not like that.